I invest in things that I understand. That's my strategy, to see what's going on. What's the average person doing? So many people are reading those hot tips, depending on who's putting it out there, then everybody will go and buy them. And that will artificially inflate the price.
Hi everyone, we are in for a very special treat today. We have eToro popular investor Sharon Connolly joining us on the podcast, and I think this is something very interesting because we have the best of both worlds. We can pick the brain of someone who's focused on her career, doing well, but in the same time, she's also making very, very good money in eToro and trading and investing. So Sharon, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here, Marvin. Thanks for having me.
You've had amazing success in eToro, and a lot of people relate to how you invest. But how did this all start? How did you begin? What's your backstory? What led you into investing?
I got into it by accident. I was given a voucher. So this is in 2013. I was given a voucher. I think it just came through on Facebook for eToro. I didn't really trust it. I didn't know what it was. I put it in there thinking, I don't know, well, let's just see. And I had very little interest in it as well, almost no interest. And then about 6 months after I'd put this $20 in, my $20, the next time I went and looked, had turned into, I think it was about $64. I was like, whoa, hang on a minute. Is this right? And what I tried to do to check, I took it out. I'm like, is this for real? Because they gave me $20 and I can now take $65 of money out. Is this for real? And I could take it out. I could. So I thought, well, okay, so Facebook, and I just put my $64 back in, and I started to invest really little amounts. I mean, $20, $50, maybe sometimes $100, because I wasn't in a position. I had no savings. I didn't have an investment strategy. I was working for myself, so I was trying to build a business. And what I used to do, I tell you what I used to, and any women who are watching this would relate to this. I'd go out and maybe I was going to buy some shoes, a dress. If I was going to buy a dress, let's just say I was going to buy a dress for $150, if it was in the sale and I got it for $90, I would take that $60 that I was going to spend and then I would invest it. Or if I was going to go out to dinner and somebody cancelled, I go, I was going to spend $70 on champagne tonight. $70 in Singapore on champagne. Who are we kidding? We need more than that. I would take money that maybe I had saved or decided not to spend somewhere else, and I'd go, let's put that in here. And at the time, eToro had a narrow amount of companies on there. So we had Facebook, we had Google, Microsoft. So there were only the big ones. There were some currencies and a couple of indices, nothing like they have now. It was pretty small. I had no idea that it was doing really well. I thought everybody just did well. I just thought this investing thing is pretty simple. Wow, you can easily make money. And at that stage, I didn't frame it and say I have an investment strategy. It was just, I'm going to put money in here for long term, not freak out through volatility. And I would learn by some mistakes as well. And slowly I knew more, and slowly I started to put more in there. Again, having this success that I didn't realize was uncommon success. And this, I'm going to put money in the companies that I know and leave it there and invest regularly. I'm going to read about them, and when their prices dip, I'm going to invest. Yeah. I didn't even think that's a strategy, which of course it is. I think it was 44 when I started investing. So you can start at any time, and you can start with any amount. And one of the things I love about eToro is that you can start really small and you can pull it out again. It's not a long-term commitment.
It feels like you're playing a game. They made it in a way that the interface is not so intimidating. It's so easy to either transfer money and also just to press those buttons as well.
It feels like you're playing a game when you've got $25 in there.
Yep.
I'm not playing a game these days.
There's so many companies right now when you look at the US markets that are really, really big, really, really good. For people that are watching this and there's so many companies to choose from, what was your style there on ultimately buying the ones from the large amount of companies to pick from?
I understand what this company does. I understand as I'm a customer, I understand what they're trying to do. And these companies delight and innovate all the time. Even companies like Facebook, as somebody who's run a business and looks at things like the Facebook advertising platform, and then you look at the strategic moves that they made to buy WhatsApp and to buy Instagram and whoever else they've taken, you can see these companies, not only are they at the cutting edge of innovation, but they continually move and evolve and bring out new stuff. I understand that. I see that. So I see the potential in that. I invest in things that I understand. How many people lost their jobs through COVID? And these people are all setting up their own businesses. And in order to set up your own business, you're going to need a website. So one of the best website providers is Wix. That's my strategy to see what's going on. What's the average person doing?
There's a couple of things I got from there. You are just double downing on things that and then things that you have experience with, and which is so good, because a lot of people would normally buy things just because people talk about it, even if they know nothing about it. So to everyone watching this, I hope that you get something that you just buy company stocks that you understand, not because a lot of people are recommending it, but because you have a firm conviction on it. And that's what I believe the market is. To be successful, it's all about conviction. It's all about knowing what you're getting into.
So many people are reading those hot tips, depending on who's putting it out there, then everybody will go and buy them. And that will artificially inflate the price.
When you have fresh cash, how do you decide which goes to where?
In times of volatility, if things are really uncertain, if I was going to put $1,000 in, if things are very uncertain, I might just go for an index. So I might put it on NASDAQ or something like that. So I know that I'm not going to realize such great gains on NASDAQ, but it's going to go up. I will constantly top up my sort of basics. Like every so often I'll put some extra on my Microsoft, Google, Apple, Facebook, etc. Shopify and the Spotify and the Snapchat that I would like to continually invest in more going forward.
Does it come to a point where, for example, you have a larger position already, say for Microsoft, for Apple, for Amazon, then you have fresh cash that these are the companies that I like, but if I add to them, it will further my exposure to it, where I have other stocks here that have lesser percentage positions in it that they're not my favorite, but so it balances out the portfolio. I buy them instead.
Yeah, it's not so much the exposure. I think it's the opportunity for growth. When you've got positions like that in your portfolio, if you've got 10, one of them's going to die. Two of them might die. And that's, not everything can succeed. Every time I have the money to invest, I am a little bit cautious of, okay, so what's the bread and butter? What's going to slowly grow my portfolio? Something a little bit riskier that will realize some more gains. And it's not always the high risk ones, because I've got things like Shopify, which are up 1,000%. And I wouldn't call that a risky one.
Got it. What triggers you to actually take profits also on a certain position? That's one. And then if you are selling, what do you do with the money? How do you transfer it? Where do you put it? What do you buy next?
Most of the time I will just leave things. If I do sell anything, if my copiers see me sell anything, it's quite often because it's accidentally reached its take profit that I forgot to sell off. So I will see, I was like, damn, it's sold at 50%. I didn't mean to sell it.
What's going through your head when there are cycles, when those good stocks that hit certain highs start to correct as well?
I will invest and I will just leave it there. Now, on a position's journey, as it increases in the volatility, if you have a crystal ball and you can sell when it's high and you can buy when it's low, great, good for you. That's going to work. That's going to work for you, I don't know, 50% of the time, maybe 10%, maybe 90%. You can say, wow, look at, I just made all of this. For almost all of my portfolio, what it is worth today, it will be worth considerably more in 5 years. This is why I would always, if somebody says to me, I'm really interested in investing, the first thing that they need to do is they need to think about their personal appetite for risk. What does risk mean for you? And you just, well, I don't understand. Well, if you go into a casino, are you happy to put $50 on black? Oh, no. Maybe trading is not for you. It should be something that you enjoy doing. And if it's not, if it's too risky for you, put it somewhere else. There's lots of other options. Get somebody else to look after it for you.
This is what people fail to see. You are accumulating, you keep on adding, and that's what makes investing amazing. It's building a very, very big base. People focus on getting the 100%, the 200% when they fail to realize that it's better to earn 20% with a very, very large base than 100% with a very, very small base. And what you're doing is you're accumulating this base so that 5-10 years from now, the more you put, the base just becomes larger for you as well.
You have to also say, when do people need to access their funds? How quickly do they need to access them? Because if somebody's saving for a deposit for their home, well, if the market dips a week before they need their deposit, they're pretty screwed. Whereas for me, I'm saving for my retirement or an adventure that I may have at some stage in the future. So there won't be a specific day that I need to go, okay, let's cash it all out. I was on the crypto bandwagon. I'm like, this is fantastic. I'm making loads of money. This is great. Took money out of my savings, which I wouldn't recommend people do. I wasn't thinking about my long-term strategy in the way that I do now. I was greedy. I could see people making money. I wanted in. And I was scared of missing out. Okay, what if I miss this?